one of the observation is that particularly the growing town, you have a lot of informal settlements that of course affect your services in the areas, and you have lot of Ekurhuleni is one of the municipality that has got a lot of undocumented people. Just to understand from the planning point of view, because this should then be able to assist municipality as you plan forward, that appreciating the growth that this municipality is facing in terms of the population, and therefore prioritizing issues of water and sanitation in those areas. And I don't see the presentation. I don't have a feeling of the presentation talking to those issues. And last thing is that to say that if there are any environmental crises were caused by municipality or companies, there should be consequences management around those people, including yourself as municipality. So to check with the department, how often do we interact with municipality? I know that you have presented a state of wastewater treatment in the country, and Ekurhuleni is one of the municipalities that was fairly doing better. But the question that I'm having with the department, how often do you do that? And as other members have indicated, as you name the municipality, because at some point you're telling us that you just write them the letter, name them, nothing, it's happening. What is it that you're going to use as this experience to make sure that our people does not relegated to such situation by municipalities, to make sure that they take their responsibilities very seriously and make sure that such situation does not actually repeat themselves or go to other areas, because it should then be a department who's administering the Act, Water Service Act, and working with your environmental department to make sure that municipality companies that does not follow the law, there is consequence management. Thank you. You can respond. We'll start with the who's that?
It's Honorable Mokhotu.
Okay, Honorable
Chairperson, can you allow me to ask a question?
Okay, you're welcome, Honorable Mokhotu. You can.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson. Was the pump station built at the lowest part of the wetland? If so, this will continue to be a problem, as even with further excavations to resolve the current problem, you are merely engaging in further developments to connect into this pump station. Is it not a problem in merely pumping in more money into the developments when the problem will persist due to initial incorrect assessment of where the pump station should have been built? Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mohotu. I see Honorable Ishmael, you are raising your hand again, or you've forgotten to lower your hand.
No, Chair, I would just like to highlight the point. I see one of the members raised a point to say, were the councillors made aware of this, and was this brought to the attention of the City of Ekurhuleni previously, before this petition was escalated or highlighted at national level? Let me just put it to the committee and to the City of Ekurhuleni that there are reference numbers logged as the City of Ekurhuleni operates. There are numerous reference numbers logged. The ones that I've mentioned or counted and told the committee today is just a tip of the iceberg. Secondly is that councillors have raised these issues. When the matter is logged, our councillor in the area, I am the political head for the Benoni area as well, and it also extends to Kempton Park. So I'm actually inundated with calls from communities and the councillors when we don't get service to the communities. So the matter was raised with the City of Ekurhuleni. The councillors have extended these issues to the, to the HODs, to the departmental heads, everybody in the City of Ekurhuleni. A public meeting was held with the MMC as well, where residents raised these issues on that at that meeting, to highlight to the MMC what they are experiencing. So on the response, or in response to the person that requested or asked the information, were councillors made aware of it? I mean, how did it come to national level without the City of Ekurhuleni first addressing it? Definitely, it first went through the stages of the City of Ekurhuleni. The reason it has been escalated to this level is because residents were just getting no joy. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Ishmael. I'm going to allow the City of Ekurhuleni MMC will guide us whether we start with who should start in responding, and then we'll then have the department responding. MMC, you'll guide whether we'll start with the HOD or yourself.
No, Chair, let me apologize. I had a problem. I have been out of the meeting since when questions started. We had to look for IT. They only came and they helped me. I only had, I think, 2 questions when in fact, I had you, Chairperson, and when we're speaking, but I have requested that the HOD, because I've been in a meeting, that he will respond to all the questions, unfortunately, because I had that problem. But what I want to respond to in terms of what I heard from you, Chairperson, is that you were talking about the informal settlements which Ekurhuleni has, and how are we, that you didn't hear our presentation speaking to how are we going to service these people in terms of them having water. Yes, it is true. We do have many informal settlements. Everybody's coming to Ekurhuleni because we are the business hub. I think in the presentation, even though it just tinted to say we have Aqualib program. Unfortunately, I think the HOD didn't just focused on the issue of today. We have an Aqualib program, which it's dealing with all the issues in terms of supplying water. As the city, we are building 29 reservoirs because we realize that we need to our population is growing. We are building 29 reservoirs. We are refurbishing all our pipelines, water pipelines. Sewer lines are being extended because our infrastructure, in any case, it's dilapidating. It's the infrastructure which have been utilized for some years. I may be even in an apartheid era, but this Aqualip is a program which is dealing with exactly the question that the chairperson has asked. It is just unfortunate that in the midst of us building these reservoirs, doing all this, then there was this pandemic, which we had lockdowns, which we ended up having problems with the budget. We can't say we as the city we did not know about this issue of that we are the problem of the Pomona sewer that we have the problem with. The reason why now in the presentation we have alluded to the fact that after we have been waiting for the AIE and the WULA for a long time, eventually we have got those. That the reason why now we have got them, it is because we have long started dealing with the issue. So we can't say we didn't know about the issue. I think the HOD will then respond because he has been fortunate to have had all the questions when I was battling with my network. Thank you, Chair.
HOD.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, MMC. Yes, I think MMC also tried to summarize some of the programs that we're running as a city. Chair, what I can say is I had one of the honorable member, I think members is trying, saying we addressing this in the bid and peace situation. Yes, indeed, because we are running an infrastructure that is very old, Chair. The challenges that we encounter in Banaero Park, we also encounter challenges in other areas. And also there are challenges of water supply, like the MMC mentioned that we are building reservoirs, and then also the sewer and the water network. But the business of today, it was to concentrate on the Banaero Park and what's happening as a city. And also, Chair, what I can also say, the budget for the city, we only rely on the grants, the revenue from the city. If the revenue is not performing well, which means also our projects are affected, O&M and CapEx, and also the external loans, Chair. It depends how the market perform. Sometimes as a city, we apply, you find that we apply 3 billion, we get only 1, and so forth. So those are some of the challenges, and we'll have to scale down in terms of the projects that we're doing. So like we're saying, we've put this into our 5-year term IDP, and we've already costed some of the project. I can, yeah, Honorable Asman, you correct that street, Marinate Street, we are having a challenge, but we said we can solve that in 3 months, not in 2023. We said we can solve that in 3 months if we can get a budget of 10 million. And also we said there's an issue of the EIA on that area. So I think also the Department of DWS, they are part of this meeting. Maybe they will help us with the directive, section 19 of the Water Act, for us to be able to move with the speed. Because if we can, we're talking about this project, Chair, the planning and the EIA and the WULA takes long. So that's why when we said, no, we're waiting for this and we've already got them, now we're ready to implement. And when we are ready to implement, now we've got the budgetary constraint and on all those things. And also the Honorable Ismail mentioned about the issue of repair and maintenance. We do repair and maintenance. That's why also I've mentioned that, no, in the meantime, as a depot, this is what we do. We sweep the line, we use the anisag and so forth, you know. The problem is these problems is bigger than us due to the developments in those areas. There's a question from Honorable Mushala in terms of the wetland and the jewelry precinct. And she said, how is the EIA approved by the department? I think that the EIA, we already have an EIA in place, even though it takes long for us to get the EIA. And then the protocol of discharging waste to our system. In terms of our bylaws, there is a tariff which we bill most of the industries that discharge effluent to our system, inclusive the grease trap, So we use that tariff, we penalize them, and also they must give us in the quantity how much are they going to discharge to our system and all those things. So we do penalize those industries. It's not like we let them discharge without in. But this doesn't solve the issue of the capacity of our sewer system. And then also Honorable Powell, you said no, the issue of upgrades, budget that was allocated for upgrades, how the city justify the contravention of law, whether the municipality will rehabilitate the wetland. Those are the questions that were posted. The issue of upgrade, Councillor Powell, like I've said, I've also mentioned that we've got 9 contractors in place which are assisting the depot in terms of the upgrade and also the contravention of the law. I must say the issue of EIA and WULA, especially if you look at the pipe that was constructed in 2019, and the one which is in the wetland, I think Honorable Machuana also asked, when did we construct that line? In 2015. That line, after the construction, we never had a problem of the buoyancy and also the ingression. It started to show problems in 2015. That's where also immediately we had to restart the process of applying the EIA and WULA for us to put or upgrade that line. That's why when you look at my presentation, I've already mentioned that there was an advertisement and all those things for us to deal with that. So most of this problem, we never had these problems. And some of the problems, we just encountered them as the developments come into the city. Yes, Honorable Mashiko, polluter pay principle. Like I said, even in our revenue collection, we've got fines and penalties. That's why we project how much we're going to fine and also collect from the companies that contravene with the Discharge Act. The declaration of developments. Okay, this one I think we've dealt with that. And there was a question of the EIA, how much they've cost. Most of the consultants, Chair, they don't even cost us more than 300,000 to do the EIA studies, So we kept most of this consultant. Actually, is a give and take. We said no, this is the money that we only have for EIA. If you charge us more than that, we're not gonna entertain that. So those are some of the issues that we do. I'm not sure, Chair, if I've covered most of these questions because I was jumping around in all the questions. Thank you.
Department.
Honorable Chair,
thank you very much, Chair. Chair, let me allow the CFO reason why I'm going straight to the CFO Chair is because Honorable Mashiko said we need to come up with solutions. And if you listen to the presentations, they are talking about budget constraints. And I want to check with the CFO if they could assist. And yeah, I will go straight to CFO because most of the presentation is talking about budget. Thank you very much. The CFO, can you come in?
Thank you very much, Deputy Minister. Chairperson, good morning, and honorable members. My name is Funane Matladzi, CFO of the National Department of Human Settlements. Chairperson, we've been listening to the presentation, and the Metro keeps on saying, should they get the money, they'd be in a position to can complete or move forward with these projects in 3 months. So we were thinking where we are sitting to say, we as a department could just as well look at the performance of the metros as we speak, and the metros that are not performing. We review that, we've already reviewed that, we've assessed that, and we have a possible way of perhaps taking money away from those provinces, the metros rather, that are not performing at this point in time. The idea, Chairperson, as you would know, that we're trying to keep the money within the sector and not to lose it to other sectors as well. But at the same time, we're trying to avoid a situation whereby if the metros are not spending by the time their year ends, they run a risk of losing the money back to National Treasury. And if we do not act as we speak now, we are also affected as a national department, because we do know that at this time of the year and during this period whereby the country is looking for funding left, right, and center, the possibility of the rollovers are very minimal. So we're looking at the assessment. We have identified possible savings where we can find them from the metros. And I think, Chairperson, we could assist the metro possibly just before the end of the financial year, when the Minister of Finance agrees to our proposal to take money away from one metro and redirects to another. And I think we could just as well try and assist the Ekurhuleni Metro towards this project and channel a portion of the money that they are needed or the money that they need. However, it will come up with conditions because it will be specifically earmarked for this purpose. And I think where we are sitting, if we redirect funds and we earmark them, we expect the metro, as dedicated as they are on this project, and as they commit to use this fund specifically and not any other funds, because if we do, then it defeats the purpose of us coming up with this exercise. So we shall be monitoring the expenditure, and we shall also be monitoring the bigger part of the budget of the metro itself, because at this point in time, even their performance, it's not at its entirely to the maximum of where we are looking at. So they should actually have looked at this thing during the adjustment budget as well. But unfortunately, that has passed and beyond this problem. So, Chair, yes, of course, we should be looking at it. And I think between this office of where I'm sitting, as well as the office of the DG and the team, we should be able to respond to the metro, upon which the National Treasury would have responded to our call as well. Thank you very much, Chair.
Chair, I'm not quite sure. Sorry, Chair. DG Changani has a problem of network. I'm not quite sure if DG wants to add to what the CFO has given us.
Morning, DM. Morning, DM. DG Changana, as you've indicated, is battling with the matter related to connectivity, and indicated that the CFO would address the issues, and I think she has. Say for two issues. The first is that I suppose the one issue that we need to address with the city is the fact that in and around that area, it is said that there are factories and there are industrial developments. And the issue is that how are those developments being approved if there are these constraints in relation to water, sanitation, and sewer in that area, and what's the contribution? So it would be unfair, I think, to expect the city to be covering that, but what is the role and responsibility of the cities? And then just to add on to what the CFO has indicated, if the money does become available, then it's going to be a responsibility of the city then to prioritize that within its budget. Thanks. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. DWS, there are questions for yourself.
Madam Chair, Honorable Chair, and members, good morning. The Chief Director responsible for the area, Mr. Maluleka, will address the meeting on behalf of the department. So I'm going to ask him to do that to respond to many of the issues that are there. But the problem of Section 63 of the Water Act remains that if we were to intervene in the municipality, my minister would have to within 14 days get to Parliament, to the NCOP, and get permission to intervene. But that part of the story is just a legal matter that we can deal with later on. Let's first hear from the Chief Director responsible for the area, Mr. Maluleka, and the other one is Mr. Mtembu. Mr. Maluleka, first, if through your permission, Chairperson.
Thank you, DG. And
Before Mr. Maluleka said that because it's new let's have people face before you can close your video.
We can't hear you, Chair. We can't hear you.
No, I was saying that I've requested that as people speak, they must switch on their camera so that members can see who they are speaking to. Mr. Spoye, can you
switch your camera on as well, Chairperson?
Who?
It's Honorable Powell. I'm just saying if members are requested to turn their cameras on, would you kindly turn your camera on as well, please, Chair?
I did when we started. We said that you can just people see you and then you can close and proceed. I did when we started the meeting, Honorable Powell. DG Mahlangu, can you do that so that members can see you?
Okay, Chairperson, I'm switching on the mic on the video.
Okay,
That's
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Mahlangu. You can switch it off, and then Mr. Maluleka.
thank you, DG, and good morning, honorable members and colleagues. My name is Justice Maluleke from Department of Water and Sanitation. I will respond to issues of what have the department done in terms of enforcing the legislation, Chairperson. I'm happy that Ekurhuleni agrees that this problem comes a long way, and they've been struggling to address it in several ways. Chairperson, our observation of this problem started around 2010, where we issued a pre-directive, which was followed by a directive. And Ekurhuleni responded with an action plan to address some of these issues, which was to move the line, which is next to the pen, outside. Due to their own internal delays, that project apparently started around 2015, and it was implemented partially. As the department, we have not been informed of what made to a partial implementation, Chair. But Ekurhuleni kept on communicating with us in terms of the challenges broadly in Pomona and Banaero Park area, where they engage us in terms of as fast-tracking their license applications that they had with the department. And as you have heard from their application chair, from their presentation chair, most of the critical licenses that they were waiting for from the department have been issued. And it's just unfortunate, Chair, now that they don't have money to implement the project that have already been approved. What we are currently concerned with, Chairperson, the system is very much strained. We have been there during the week, and the challenges with the pump stations and how they integrate that and how they get overloaded and spill, it's very huge, Chair. And Ekurhuleni might need to come up with ways, probably to also deal with where this water is ingressing the system. Because if that is not dealt with, Chairperson, who can increase the infrastructure, then that infrastructure will end up conveying stormwater than the normal sewer that's supposed to convey to the treatment works, Chair. In the process, we also engaged, Chair, not necessarily on this aspect, but in the challenges that Ekurhuleni had broadly, together with the Office of the City Manager and ERVAT. And there were programs that were put in place to fast track some of these projects, Chairperson. But unfortunately, there have been several delays in some areas, including this one. And Ekurhuleni might need to see how best they can fast track. But they need to also up the game in terms of operation and maintenance of this infrastructure. I'll give you an example, Chairperson. The Pomona pump station that have recently been upgraded, and they're saying it's well functioning and the likes. But when all these systems connect to that particular pump station, it will be overloaded, as it was overloaded during the week, Chairperson. So our plea as the department, it's that the municipality must look at this system very carefully and ensure that whatever they implement resolve this problem in a more sustainable way, Chairperson. I think in that regard, I will stop here, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Maluleka. But you have not responded in terms of Honorable Musala has raised a question, which Honorable Mokhoto, I think.
Which one, Chair? The one about will Ekurhuleni take responsibility for the rehabilitation and the pollution that is happening there?
That one was asked by Honorable Powers. The Honorable Mokhoto has raised questions. Honorable Mokhoto?
My question was, I wanted to know if the pump station that is built, is it built at the lowest part of the wetland? And my worry is that if that pump station is built at the lower part of the wetland, even if you can make renovations or you can try to repair the pipes, this problem is going to persist in future and it will be a waste of money. In order to save money, what are you going to do as the Ekurhuleni Metro, for example? What are you going to do to try and resolve this problem if the pump station is situated at the lowest part of the wetland? Are you just going to continue making repairs, and then after 5 years the problem will recur again, and then you will request the department to give you a budget to repair that? Will that be a continuous way of resolving this problem, or do you want to resolve this problem once and for all and save money? Thank you.
Just
Thank you,
note
Chair.
it, note it, Honorable, sorry, Mr. Maluleka. I see Honorable Powell has raised the hands again. Honorable Powell.
Thanks, Chair. My question, 2 of my questions haven't been answered. Will the city be held liable for costs to treat the environmental and health risks to the community and the rehabilitation of the wetland? And what was the cost of the EIA? I noted that one of the officials said that the EIA, they just said to the contractors, this is how much money we have. How much money was that? And was it a tender? Can I please get answers to those 3 questions? Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Powell. Honorable Ismail.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to put it on record that I want to thank the committee and the CFO for, the assistance given with this petition. However, as I stated before, I think, we're discussing a way forward, but can we maybe, have a resolution or a solution on the expected dates? Timeframes are crucial, Chair. Thank you.
Honorable Musala.
Thanks so much, Chair. So my last question is just to say, how many directives were issued by the department to the City of Ekurhuleni with regards to the cleaning of the pollution? Thank you.
Thank you. Let's start with the the city responding to the question of Honorable Mokhoto and Honorable Powell, and then and then we'll get to the department to respond to the last questions. HOD.
Yes, Chair, thank you very much. Chair, I'll just go straight to the question, most especially from Honorable Mokhoto, in terms of the pump station at the lower end. Are we solving a problem? I think, Chair, on my presentation, I've tried my best to say we're putting gravitational lines which will bypass some of the pump station. Chair, this we're addressing the history of this pump station, where in the area where we have too many pump stations, we said, no, we don't need too many pump stations. It costs us in terms of energy pumping and all those things. So wherever we can put a line that pass straight the pump station until to the wastewater treatment plant, that's what we're doing. So in my presentation, I've said, that's why I said, no, we've already got WULA and EIA for us to put the lines and bypass some of these pump stations to eliminate this thing of the pump station. We find that they keep on overflooding. So I think I've tried to explain that, Honorable Mkhoto. And then Honorable Powell, the issue of the city responsible for wetland rehabilitation. The city, we've got the department which is deal with the environmental related issues, where we interact internally, and also they've got the programs of rehabilitating most of the wetlands in the city and all those things. So, but at the moment they can't, while there's still sewer overflowing in that wetland. So this project, after we've done with the from water and sanitation, we'll have to hand over to the relevant department for rehabilitation of the wetland. The issue of EIA, I think I've mentioned that the EIA was a tender of consultant, because we always appoint consultant in terms of in the line of a panel, and we limit them in terms of the studies, So you'll find that these consultants, they're not even more than 300,000 to do the EIA and all those things. It depends on the area and all those things. So they go out on tender and they bid for the specific EIA, and then we put on the POQ, we put what is required to be done, and we charge them on the hourly rate, and then we limit them in terms of how much they must charge the city. The one for harm and directives, I think the department will also help on that, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, HOD Department, Mr. Maluleka.
Thank you, Chairperson. We've issued one directive in 2010. The municipality responded with an action plan that we accepted, Chair. The action plan was to address the line that is going around the pen. They wanted to move it from very close to the pen to the outside and lift the manholes so that they prevent water ingress into the system. The only part that was not done, as I've indicated, Chairperson, was to phase out the Banaero pump station, because that was part of the plan also at the time. So we couldn't continue with further enforcement actions because we're engaging with the municipality to say, what are the bigger challenges in here? And as I've presented before, Chair, they presented to the department to say, Pomona is growing, there are new development. It was an agricultural holding where people were self-reliant on their systems. And that area is currently growing. And a response to that was to say, let's apply for water use licenses to upgrade the lines, to upgrade the pump stations that will feed into the Ervat RTBS Fontaine wastewater treatment works. So our engagement of it was to make sure that all the authorizations that they required was in place, and indeed, most of them, they are in place, Chair, except one that the HOD have mentioned. We're going to look at that so that we also close that gap, Chairperson. So currently, in terms of implementing what needs to solve the problem, the ball is in Ekurhuleni's court, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Maluleka. MMC.
Chair?
Yes.
No, Chair, I'm not saying anything, Chair, I'm fine.
Okay. I think Honorable Ishmael was saying that we need to have a time frame on the issues. But in this meeting would not do that because the CFO the municipality has indicated they don't have resources, and the department, they're saying they will have to go back and look at their municipal grants and see how they can then assist municipalities. And they will then have to evaluate even the performance itself in terms of the budget that were allocated for them. And what we can just say is that we would want the commitment of the city that they should prioritize this matter, and within a short period of time, through DM Chwete, that evaluation of budget and the intervention that can be made should then be forthcome within 14 days of just to indicate whether there will be any intervention to assist the city in the city to resolve this problem. Particularly the 10 million that they've said, if we get 10 million, we can then be able to do away with the problem. And as they deal with the bigger problem. So that's what I would request the meeting to accept that we should actually leave it at that and go through the.
I can't hear you, Chairperson.
I was saying that the city in the meantime, they should then be able to see what is it that can be done to help those communities through their maintenance operation. But within 14 days, the department, as they are saying, they will have to go back and evaluate the performance of municipal grants and see whether and look even the performance of Ekurhuleni in terms of their grants, and they can then see how they can assist municipality with the required amount that they need to completely resolve the problem. I'm saying we'll give them 14 days to do that, and engage the treasury, whether it's treasury would allow that system that they use, which provinces to utilize, to be used in with the municipality, so that we don't lose that grants, because it's very critical to assist cities. Give them 14 days to come back to the committee. And I wanted to check with the DM whether 14 days is reasonable. DM and CFO.
Thank you very much. I think, Chair, what is needed here, rather than we say 14 days, because it depends on the evaluation of as you already said, Chair, evaluation by our department to the City of Ekurhuleni. But I think that cannot be a problem, because we need to do things very fast. I think at the moment, I have a feeling that between the Office of the CFO and also the MMC should come up with a system that will say because March is the end of the financial year, and the CFO raised and gave us hope that they are going to assist. And then I think what we need to do as national, and now that you are giving me that responsibility, Chair, I will check within 14 days and report to you how far have they gone, because we depend on both the Ekurhuleni and again our office of the CFO. And also I think Mr. Maluleka has also raised some of the issues. And then I like what the Honorable Mashiko said, that at the moment, let's come up with solutions that are going to help Ekurhuleni. And I see the light at the end of the tunnel, because both the Office of the National and also Ekurhuleni are saying they will resolve these problems. And I want to make a plea to both of them that it should not take, as you're saying, Chair, at least after 14 days, we should hear exactly in terms of the performance evaluation, and also the money that they promised that they will help Ekurhuleni, that how far have they gone, and then we give that report as soon as possible, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DM. Within 14 days, let's get the progress around that. But the city, as we live here, through their maintenance system, they should see how they can, in the meantime, help those communities as they wait for the department and the process, that process to unfold. MMC.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I have noted everything that has been said here, and I have also noted the fact that we must also be quick in terms of establishing our plans from now onwards. And I think we will also make sure that the HOD it's from time to time communicating with Mr. Maluleka, but I really, we are committed to take actions on all the resolution or the recommendations which have been made with regards to this problem that we are faced with. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. CFO, CFO.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I was trying to connect back because of the muting is a problem. Thank you, Chair. And I think as DM has indicated, we are mindful of the financial year end. And the idea is to say, because we have last payment to be made to municipalities. So we are going to speed up the process. Chair, however, it's also dependent on National Treasury approving everything. But where we are, we've started the process, we shall be awaiting, but we're trying to fast track the 2 weeks. And I think in 2 weeks' time, we'll liaise with the Office of DM, and then the Deputy Minister's Office will also liaise with the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee. And Chair, I think this is also a request that the city should commit to us in terms of time and to this project as well. Thank you, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm not going to repeat what I've said. I think let's leave it at that, to say that the city and the department, including the DWS, will then work together to make sure that this matter is being resolved. There must be, at the 14 days that comes to us, it should then be indicating to say, from the date of this meeting that we had, this is what the city has been doing, waiting for the Department of Human Settlement and other DWS to help them. But this is what they've been doing in addressing the problem, so that we should have that sense that leaving this meeting, something is going to be done. So I'm going to, there is a hand. Honorable Zeki, and Honorable Masala. Honorable Zeki. Honorable Zeki. Honorable Masala, you can come in. The Honorable Zeki probably has got the line of problem, connection problem.
No, Chairperson, I just want to add on what you have said with regards to getting permanent solutions on these problems. It is not only the 10 million that we need also the 12 billion in terms of water and sanitation projects to eradicate backlogs in the city of Ekurhuleni. There is an amount of 544 shortfall on the completion of reservoirs before the end of 2020-2021. So when the department comes, they must come with a solution of how are we going to move forward, because the people that are suffering in terms of these water and sanitation issues are our poor brothers and sisters. So let's also come with a decision of how are we going to handle some of those issues. The last question is, what is the role of the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs in addressing these issues? Thank you. What role did the Department of Water and Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs played in addressing these issues? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Masala. I think the 14 days that you are giving is to accommodate the engagement of all the role players, including COCTA, if there is any assistance that they could provide to the city. You know that the need doesn't cover most of the cities, as the HOD has indicated, the source of funding, and that's why the Human Settlement has introduced these grants to assist the city to deal with the backlog of infrastructure in their areas. So through their interaction with Treasury, as the FMA mandate Treasury to oversee the performance and the usage of money in the municipality, not COCTA. COCTA's role is to support the municipality. I think they should then bring COCTA in terms of the support that can be provided to the city. But Treasury, as the people who oversee the funds in municipalities, they should then be able to work with the Human Settlement to assist the Ekurhuleni municipalities. So, so can we leave it at that? Honorable Zeki, are you still there? You wanted to raise something? Didi Mahlangu?
Honorable Chairperson and members, I want to thank everybody for addressing this situation as quickly as possible. But I want to raise the issue that I think we need to look into. The Deputy Minister knows that we've been dealing with problems in Rooival in Pretoria. We've been dealing with problems in the Val itself. So these problems are in almost all the big cities that we have in the country.
Point of order, DDG. We are dealing with the petition of Barona area. We know that we have taken decisions around those issues. You have presented the state of the wastewater treatment plant to us, and okay. And there are resolution that we said that as a department we should continue to engage National Treasury and COCTA to get solution on those issues, so that we get municipality, as the majority of them are the victims or the people who are not complying with the Water Act. They should be assisted to comply. So for now we are referring to this specific matter. What should happen from now until the 14 days that we'll receive the action plan that talked the addressing of this issue. And that doesn't mean that as a department of DWS and Human Settlement and COCTA, we should continue to engage Treasury with the report that they have presented to us to see how best we can assist municipality to address the backlog that we have in the country. So we are aware of that on DDG.
Thanks, Chair.
Okay. Because we've lost Mr. Zeki, or Honorable Zeki, I'm now going to invite the MMC of Ekurhuleni on the update on the the issues that we have raised with them on the previous petition. MMC Lisiba.
Thank you very much, Chair. Greetings to yourself, greetings to DM DM Chwete, members of the members of Parliament, as well as officials in their different capacities of both tiers of government, national and local. Chair, of course, we would have appeared before the committee and we are here to give an update of what we would have done since the previous appearance. And with me, Chairperson, I'm still with HOD Mahlaluche, who will also go into detail since the approval of the item by council to also go on the, if the chair can remember, we were awaiting a public participation process, which was also recommended by council through its wisdom, that in terms of approving this particular reviewal policy, let the item go for public participation. And we have since done that, Chair, and the public participation happened or ran from the 24th of August to the 22nd of August. From the 24th of August to the 22nd of September. That's when we did a very intensive public participation where we entered, where we interacted with councillors, we interacted with tenant committees. The matter was put on the website of the city. There was comments that were soliciting from different members of the public who had vested interest in the matter. We also had intensive engagements with the unions because a large portion of our or rather a considerable portion of our tenants are partly or people who work for the city. So we had to engage that particular stakeholder. And Chair, we want to say that if need be, we can also go into the criteria used on the rental criteria, which will be charged on qualifying beneficiaries. But I think in a nutshell, Chairperson, we had the quest of ensuring that we create an equitable value-based on income-based model to ensure that there is benefit from both the tenant and the city. We have of course consulted with the legislative framework, of which part of it is the Rental Housing Act, which requires of us as a local authority to have a sustainable portfolio, a rental portfolio, which will then oversee the well-being of our people. So, Chair, that is a report in a nutshell. We've seen gone to the public participation. We've concluded it, and the item has been approved by Council, Chairperson. If perhaps maybe with your permission, Chairperson, as I've indicated that Mr. Andile Mahlaluche, who's the head of department, is with me, where I would have not covered. With your permission, can he please make some additions? Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, MMC. HOD can put the presentation on screen.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson, Deputy Minister Chwete, as well as honorable members and the MMC Lesiba. Chair, we have submitted a progress report since the last time we appeared before the committee. Chairperson, it is not my intention to repeat what MMC has said. Safe to say, from the last meeting, Chairperson, we were then requested that we should then provide an update in terms of the approach that we went into detail when we appeared in July to the committee. So we have done all that work, and then Council has since resolved on the revised tariffs, Chairperson, which then addresses the issues that were raised by the residents of Actonville and Benoni. So to conclude, Chair, from where we are sitting, we then consider the petition closed, and would also recommend the same to the committee. Chairperson, I'll end there.
MMC and HOD, whatever you are saying, is it not in a written form? Because this is a committee of Parliament. We expected you to flag the presentation.
Chairperson, we did write a report. It's a written report.
Yes. Where's
yes,
the report? I know
we
that
submitted.
members might have get the report, but when you speak to members, there should be that indication that you flag your report only, so that we are able to see that you are speaking to a report. But let me allow members to comment on the matter. Honorable Emma Powell, Honorable Ishmael, Honorable Ishmael.
Chairperson, sorry, I'm not ready to make my inputs on this matter. This committee has not received any written response or update on this petition that came before this committee on the 31st of July last year. The report that we were sent or forwarded is dated the 28th of July 2020, which means that this report was actually drafted before we deliberated on this matter in committee. So I'm just, I just want to ask, can we get some written commitments of what has been said? Because when I looked at the PMG minutes this morning, the undertaking that was made in this committee and the agreed timeframes was that Ekurhuleni would report back to this portfolio committee by September last year with a resolution on the matter. Now, we see that the item was passed after public participation, but it hasn't been tabled before council. So what we require as MPs is a document that we can interrogate, that's got clear timelines, coming here and just, telling us what's going on isn't good enough, Chairperson, and I know that you would agree with me on that. So can we please call the officials from Ekurhuleni to order and request that they show this committee the requisite respect by providing this information to us in a written form and providing us with a response as to why the timeframes that we had agreed on the 31st of July for a turnaround time of September 2020 was not adhered to. Can we please also get an undertaking as to when this item will pass before council? Thanks, Chairperson.
Honorable Ishmael.
Thank you, Chair. I want to also just put it on record that I'm very, very disappointed. I think as we expected much more from the City of Ekurhuleni. I also want something to be clarified to me. At our last meeting, is my colleague, Honorable Emma Powell, has stated that a report back was supposed to be brought to this National Department of Human Settlements in September, as agreed by the City of Ekurhuleni at our last meeting. Nothing has been done. I also noted that the MMC has stated that the item has actually passed. I want to find out from him, where is it passed after? I know the item was brought to council and it was sent back to say for public participation. And I'm aware that the public participation took place, but I am not aware when this item was passed at council. So if we could get clarity on this matter, please, I would appreciate it. I have a lot to say on the item, but you know, on the item that I've seen before the public participation, but as is now, there's nothing that we can speak on because there's nothing that has been put to us as a presentation. Thank you.
Honorable Mashiko.
Thanks, Chair. I would have thought that the MMC did indeed indicate that the item went to council. And if that is not the case, then there might be a problem. But I think that HOD, you really must accept that you are not presenting anything if you are not showing what you're presenting. Please just present to us. If indeed there was a council resolution and you have written a report, show us that report, and then we'll be asking questions on an operational basis rather than your word of mouth. Please.
Koliswa, did you receive any report that you have distributed to members on the matter?
Yes, Chairperson.
You have received the report?
Yes.
And then you have distributed to the members?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Let's then give them to respond on the time, on the time frame. Honorable Powell, can you allow me to chair the meeting?
Okay,
you have raised the issue of the time frame.
It's an old document from July. It's not a new presentation, Chairperson. So I don't know what Kaliswa has received, because as members, we received a document that was dated 28 July 2020.
Let's allow them to respond.
Yeah.
HOD and MMC.
Yes, Chair. There's definitely no intention to undermine the committee, and if indeed we have erred by not flighting the report, it was as a basis of the impression created that we were to bring an update. And of course, Chair, I do take into consideration what members members of Parliament are citing as an issue here. We do have that report, Chair. If the administration says they've received, it's the report that we've sent, and I'm sure it can be circulated further to members. But Chair, we do want to say that in terms of the timelines, it could have not been September, because from the 24th of August to the 22nd of September, we were busy with the public participation. And Chairperson, the item was approved by Council on the 25th of June, subject 25th June 2020, pending public participation, Chairperson. It might have been interpreted by members of Parliament differently, but what was pending from our side as the department in the city was to take the matter for public participation and report back to the portfolio committee, the Section 79 committee as a result, Chairperson. And that is that. We can, given the opportunity, flight that particular response, Chair, because it's a comprehensive report. It speaks to benchmarking, the approach, findings, and conclusions, benchmarking on our sister cities such as Joburg, Tshwane, Ekurhuleni, and so forth. So, Chairperson, we thought that we are to make clear on the update of where we were, concerning this particular portfolio, noting that we have made a substantial and a comprehensive presentation in the previous meeting. If I'm not wrong, it was on the 28th of June or July, Chairperson. But of course, we do come here and seek your indulgence, Chair. We do have, we can fly to that.
Can we have the report being slided on the screen? Because
Chair, on a point of clarity, please.
Okay, Honorable Ismail.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to understand from MMC Lesiba. My understanding, and I've actually requested for the minutes of that council meeting where MMC Lesiba said that the discussion took place about the public participation. Now, from my understanding, public participation, even in the National Assembly for that matter, is a constitutional right. And my understanding of public participation means public participation, and it means public input. So if an item came to council, and it was decided that the item must be reverted back to be taken for public participation, the understanding from what I understand, and maybe the balance of the committee members can advise as well if you have the same thinking and understanding. Public participation is a process to take in input from the public so that we you should be re-looking at the item, taking into consideration all the inputs from the public participation process. That item should be going back to the Portfolio Committee of Human Settlements, and then from there passed and taken back to council for passing the resolutions and for implementation. So I just need some clarity from Councillor Lesiba, because he seems to make us understand that the item that was passed at council was just requesting a public participation process and is ready for implementation. But from my understanding of the minutes of that meeting, I think it was actually the speaker that stated and highlighted the fact that public participation is crucial, and the item should be reverted back, taking into the input the public participation process, taking it back to the Section 79 committee and brought back to council. So please, can the MMC please clarify as to exactly what happened and maybe flight the minutes of that meeting for us. Thank you.
Chairperson, can I assist?
Hello, Chairperson. Hello,
Chair.
Chairman. I think we've lost the Chairperson.
Yes, I think so too. The Deputy Minister. I heard whether the MMC is saying he can assist. Can you, in the meantime, while we're waiting for the Chairperson, talk to the matters that were raised? Thank you.
Yeah, it's the HOD.
DM?
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
honorable members. No, honorable members. There is a hand that has came in from. I've noted. Is it Andile? Is it says the DM?
Yeah, yes, Chairperson, it's me. I wanted to assist.
Yes.
Okay. Chairperson, firstly, let me apologize. I think there was just a miscommunication between us and the officials, because we did submit the two reports, which is our report, the progress report to date, as well as, because in that report, we're also making reference to the meeting of that we held in July. So it was supposed to be read, those reports are supposed to be read together, because you recall, Chairperson, in the meeting in July, we went into detail about the approach that was going to be followed. So I must just apologize. There must have been a miscommunication, because the two reports should have been received by the members together. So, Chairperson, let me clarify something. There seemed to be confusion. The council said, resolved that on the item, let's go and do public participation, which was done, Chairperson, and then a report went through the relevant structures. It went to the Oversight Committee on Human Settlement. They deliberated on it, and then they submitted a report to council, which is the report that council finally resolved on at the end of August. So the matter is final from council point of view. There is nothing outstanding that council must still do. We can submit the council resolutions to the portfolio committee, Chairperson.
Honorable Mashego.
Yes, Chair. That was the point I wanted to make. That the workings of council shall say that when the item is brought to council, either council can adopt it or can adopt it subject to certain things being done. The June council meeting said the report is adopted subject to public participation. So if public participation has taken place, they must show cause that happened, and they're saying that has happened. I know that if we say when the minutes of council, and I think that can help, but it obviously it won't be in this meeting. What you must in wanting to agree with member Ishmael, that at your convenience time, make those minutes available for us. That if after giving us those minutes and we still believe that we are not happy, we can always call you back. But for today, you are saying there are minutes, the item went, and you are saying it went to an August meeting. The expectation
no, October,
oh, okay. No, that's fine. If you say October, it's fine. So just show us that, then I think the item is understood.
Yes.
Honorable Powell.
Chairperson, I just want to reiterate what I've said. I don't think that the members here have a clear idea of what is going on. This is haphazard, and I would like to make a proposal that the officials from Ekurhuleni send us the correct documentation so that we have, as per this committee's agreement, an opportunity to interrogate what has happened since the last meeting in July last year, and that we are able to fully prep and brief ourselves to pose the requisite questions, because right now all that we have in front of us is a report with a reference date of 28th of July with no new information in it. And we don't have this presentation that the officials are talking about. So we're not able to conduct efficient or effective executive oversight here. So may I please propose that this item stand over and that we are fully briefed and that the officials are summoned back to this committee at a later date to give us proper information that we can properly interrogate. Thank you, Chairperson.
Honorable Ismail.
Thank you, Chair. I second Honorable Emma Powell's proposal. I think with the document that City of Ekurhuleni sends to us, maybe they can just put an attachment of both resolutions of council. The initial one where the public participation input was discussed and, a resolution was taken, and the new one that the MMC claims took place in August, just for us to have some clarity, and then maybe we can bring this back and we can probably have a discussion on it. Thank you.
Chair, can I clarify and with your permission?
Okay.
Chairperson.
MMC?
Yes. Member Ismail seems to be suggesting that I said there was a recent council resolution of August. I indicated that from August to September, from the 24th of August to the 22nd of September, we were conducting a public participation, Chairperson. And in the month of October, the Section 79 submitted a report to council, and there were specific recommendations done. And if we can remember, this was a matter to be put before council on the basis of a revised policy. And a resolution was taken that the tariff increase be put on hold pending the finalization of the reviewal policy by council. So there was no council meeting of August. August to September, we were conducting public participation, and hence the HOD says that in terms of our consideration, the matter or the petition is closed because we did follow up on what we were supposed to do, which were public participation. I was about to say that if at all we were requested to submit minutes, maybe a request should be made to Speaker of Council to submit those minutes. But if we are saying that, can we provide information and attach those minutes? I don't think there's an issue because we are speaking about a process that has unfolded as well as an item that was brought before council by the Oversight Committee in October. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, MMC. Honorable members, what we expected the city to do was to conduct the public participation and then give us the resolution of the council. And that was done. And as honorable member is saying that they have not received that, and that's the problem, MMC. If you have written because the undelayed saying that there is another report that's supposed to be read with the one that the members had. Can we have that circulated, that report, and then from our side would then distribute that report to members. If the matter is need follow up, would actually indicate whether it needs follow up or not. We would not summon Ekurhuleni again if without that information. So can we have that report that says after this, the engagement with Parliament, this is what happened, and the matter went to the council, and the council resolved as follows, and then we close the matter at that. If there is a need for the follow-up matter, we'll then actually call Ekurhuleni to do that, to come back for clarity if the report is not clear. For now, you have denied us the opportunity to look at that report, MMC. We are just talking about it. It's not intention of the portfolio committee to want to demand the minutes of speaker and what. We want the report that is signed by a legitimate structure in Ekurhuleni, because we believe that we have invited the Ekurhuleni municipality. Therefore, the report that comes to us must actually have that legitimacy to the committee. And if that report is not, members they don't have, it's becoming difficult for us to conclude on the matter with yourselves. But immediately we receive the report, and then we'll distribute that report to members, and then we would actually indicate whether the matter is closed or not.
I see there is a hand. Honorable Musala and Honorable Mashehu.
No, Chairperson, I think I've been covered by you. Actually, I raised a hand long time ago, but I forgot to lower my hand.
Okay.
I've been covered in this. The previous meeting that we had in this portfolio committee, we agreed that part of the resolution was that there was going to be a process of public participation. And then we're going to allow the public engagement to happen. And afterwards, we get a report as the committee from the city, of which this is what you have stated. We did not get the report. I think what we need is just to get the report. We need to resolve in this meeting to say that let's get the report and see what transpired. If we feel that it's still important for us to call the City of Ekurhuleni, we'll do so. But let's get the report first to see what happened, what is the resolutions during the process of public participation. So I think it was actually the same thing that you have said. So thanks so much. I don't have anything to say. So my take is, let's get the report. Since we were denied access for the reports today, let's get the report, and afterward we decide as the committee to check if we call the City of Ekurhuleni to come and clarify what we see in the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Masala. Honorable Mashefu. Okay. Honorable Jake, you have been in and out of the meeting.
Thank you, Chairperson. My apologies, Chair. Earlier, I was on hotspot from my phone to the iPad, so the voice could not be heard by the meeting. But anyway, it has passed. Chair, I want to say Mhlala is very progressive today. I want to support that. And I think what Mhlala is saying, Member Mhlala is saying, is it covers both the petitioners and what Member Powell was saying. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, honorable members. That was the how we should. That is how we should resolve this matter. Unfortunately, MMC, we don't have the part that we are talking to, which you remember as we were presenting, I was saying, flag the report on the screen so that we can see what you're talking about. And we should be finished with that report, and we'll then actually look at the report. We'll decide whether if we still need more information, we will invite you to the meeting. We'll invite you to the committee. But if we are satisfied that you have done what we have agreed on, we will not actually call you again. Thank you very much, MMC and your team. Honorable members, that was the last item, if I'm not mistaken. Koliswa?
Yes, Chairperson.
The last item on the agenda, and thank you very much for the contribution, and the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Chairperson. Long live.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair.
Long live, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Mashego. Ke tsogile gantle wena.
Man, o tsetela tshegale man.
Ya bona nkgopotse le nne ke tlhoafaletse.
Hello, Minister. How is the Minister? Hello, Mashiko.
Mr. Person.
How are you? Are you safe?
I'm very.
You must stay away from the coronavirus.
I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best.
That's good. That's good.
Honorable Person, I'm missing you, Honorable Person.
How are you, Minister?
I'm fine. I'm missing you, man.
Yeah, sorry, man. I came on late. I had another scheduled meeting. That's why I came on late.
Oh, yeah, I was missing your voice.
Yeah, are you well, Minister?
I'm surviving, Honorable Person.
That's good. That's good.
Thank you so much.
All right, then we'll see next week.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.